Welcome to episode 25 of OVW Fan Zone Live, where fans talk back. My name is Jackman Oaks.
And I'm Brian Hines.
Jump into the OVW chat room tonight. Tiny Brian is here on camera with us in the chat.
I'm still in the chat.
There you are.
I'm right here, but you can also see me.
He will be moderating the chat this evening.
I look forward to your comments in the chat on my wait, so we'll see you then.
We also want to welcome, while we have him here, the host of the OVW Podcast, Overdrive edition.
Right. Well, we haven't done many episodes of that lately.
It'll be okay. It'll come back.
All right.
Slackers.
My boss, my friend, sometimes Victor Anderson, owner of Victory Industrial and Divine Spirits, where I actually work. I couldn't think of it for a second.
Yeah.
Welcome. Thanks for coming by on this Wednesday
evening. I'm glad to be here.
Brian Hines.
Yeah.
What do we do here? We talk to the chat, right? We have this thing called Super Chats, and what do they do?
So if you're in the chat and you want Tiny Brian to stop whatever we are doing and interrupt us so we can talk about whatever it is you want to talk about, a Super Chat will put you at the front of the line.
A super chat, huh?
Yeah, that's what I
I'm
hear.
curious when we were going to figure out a way to get the funds for that.
They're sitting around. I've heard.
Okay.
They're accruing interest somewhere.
We are having you on tonight, though, Victor, for not only our recaps and predictions and all the regular fun that we have here on the OVW Fan Zone Live, but because we have a special announcement that you have more information out than I do.
I'll make the announcement here. Since,
I've been looking forward to it.
We'll go ahead and where's the camera at? Right there?
In the middle of that.
Is that it right there?
Right there in the middle of the circle.
Oh, that I thought it was that.
That ring of fire right there. I know you're a Johnny Cash fan.
So, one piece at a time.
Mm-hmm.
One piece at a time.
That's
so,
right.
on November the 9th in Bourbon County High School, we are going to have the Bourbon Brawl. OVW Wrestling is coming to Bourbon County High School.
Paris, Kentucky.
In beautiful Paris, Kentucky.
On November the 9th, it's going to be sponsored by, we'll get into Divine Spirits in a minute. I don't think you guys have really talked about that, but it will be sponsored by Divine Spirits. And what we're going to be doing is raising money for the Bourbon County Marching Band. And the reason we're raising money for them is because this is a awesome marching band. So I don't know how many of y'all know about Kentucky high schools, but a lot of schools are about football or basketball or whatever.
Sure.
Bourbon County is about their band. So the band last year, they not only won state, but they won the what was the name of the thing again, Brian?
1A Nationals, I think
The
is
1A
what it's
Nationals.
called.
Wow.
The Battle of the Bands.
Yeah.
So not only did they go up there and compete in it, they won the whole damn thing.
It's amazing.
Went to Oiler Stadium in Dallas, isn't it?
No. It's in
Houston.
No, guys. It is
Indianapolis. It was Lucas Oil Stadium.
Lucas Oil.
Okay.
And Oil, I think, Texas. What do you want from me?
So they go up there and they compete, and they're getting ready to go compete here again next month, I think. But last year they were the grand national champions. So this is all about raising money to support the Bourbon County Marching Band.
And in 2022, they marched down the Carnival of,
Macy's
through New York
Thanksgiving
City.
Day Parade.
I don't know if
On
it's
the
a
Macy's
carnival,
Thanksgiving.
but it was.
I was thinking of
parade.
there's a particular street they call a thing. Never mind.
So we got
Carnival.
I'm not used to being on camera.
Which one of us spent the whole afternoon with Chad and who didn't? I'm starting to get confused.
Yeah,
Everything is.
No, it was me actually, but no, they got the distinct honor of marching in the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade in New York City, which is, not everybody in the country gets to do it.
No.
Not even everybody in the state of Kentucky gets to do it, but Bourbon County Marching Band got to do it. So this is a very special band.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Gray is their band leader, and he does a great job. And these bands work; these kids, they work so hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can tell you, like my son Isaiah is part of the marching band. He is in the low brass. He is in that.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
They spent the last 2 days of last week 12 hours.
Yeah.
Each.
Golly.
So it's no joke, guys.
Yeah.
So we're all glad to hear that OVW Podcast, the Fan Zone, OVW Wrestling, we're all here to support the Bourbon County Marching Band.
I did band for a semester growing up. I did not play an instrument, but I was around that culture a lot. I cannot stress how hard it is on these kids, how hard they work, not only are they need to know how to play an instrument, but they need to like remember choreography. It's a really insane thing that these kids dedicate their life to, and we're really glad to have this announcement here to see that OVW. We know that OVW loves to invest in the talent of the future, but this is a little bit of a different way to do that. They're investing in the next marching bands.
I told everybody on the Divine Spirits crew earlier, it's not only required but mandatory that we all be there.
Right.
So please let me personally invite the Wisco girls, Keith, everybody. You come down to Bourbon County, see our beautiful town of Paris, and come watch some OVW live on Saturday night, November the 9th. Be there.
And we will we'll be running around that whole night. Catch one of us. There's a good chance one of us will have some goodies on us. If you're an OVW fan, if you're an OVW Fan Zone fan, if you're here in the chat with us and you want to make the drive, catch us. You know what we look like. We're here every Wednesday night at 7 p.m.
Say hi.
Say hi, and we'll make it worth your while.
So, yeah, coming back to the Lexington area, let's go ahead and go into all the places we know that OVW is going to be. Let's get into our tour update.
Brian Hines.
Well, as of right now, you can catch OVW every Thursday at Hot Point Davis Arena. We've got the HawkCon coming up in Pikeville, Kentucky on October 26th. We've got OVW Hell Night, which is a big deal because there is a trunk or treat before the show that night. And,
I know you're particularly excited about that.
Yeah, I've already lost my shit a couple times about this, but that is October 31st.
Planning meetings about what exactly we're going to do with the back of my weird Lexus.
I've heard some of the plans. Get ready, guys.
I figure if we're the unofficial podcast and this is the official trick or treat of OVW, then we need to make sure that our game is on
OVW
point.
Rise is going to be on Halloween this year.
Yes.
It is. That's a Thursday
night.
Uh-huh.
And let me say this about the trunk or treat thing. We've grown a lot around here on this podcast. There's been some things that we have promised in the past that, like, to be honest, we just weren't ready to be able to bring to you. This one we're holding on to. And the back of Brian's car, the OVW Mobile, is going to be sick. I can promise you that.
Yeah.
That's a Jackman promise, and we got it on camera.
It's going to be sick.
That's
That
right.
means it's solid.
So, yeah, we definitely want to see you there on Hell Night, where you spin the wheel and make the deal.
Spin the choice.
Yes.
Ooh, okay.
And, of course,
Who
Brian.
said spin you're quoting somebody there.
Wait a minute. Y'all telling me you're going to have a wheel in the back of Brian Hines' weird
No.
No.
That's for the stipulations for the match.
that's
That
right.
old WCW style.
Yeah.
So y'all have to, I apologize up front. I have not rewatched, but I was in person live.
You were.
At the episode we're getting ready to talk about last Thursday night.
I was also there, but you were a little more in person than I was that night. Anyway, we have a pay-per-view, though, right?
That's true. We have a pay-per-view at Hot Point Davis Arena on November 2nd. You can get tickets to any and all of these events at ovwtix.com.
Yes,
we also have.
TIX.
Do we still have? Did we talk about HotCon?
Well, I mean, I mentioned it.
Okay, just making sure.
And
HawkCon.
one thing here before we go to commercial break. One of your favorite people, one of my favorite people, one of your favorite people, one of OVW's favorite people,
Yes.
Joe Cooley,
Oh.
celebrating a birthday.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Mr.
birthday, Joe Cooley.
Joe was actually conspicuously missing last Thursday when we were there.
You know what? He wasn't there, was he?
He was in Florida, I believe.
Well,
hopefully
good
on
that he's getting
vacation.
some vacation.
Yeah.
Getting some tans.
Yeah, he was down there with his cane. I know he's had some mobility problems,
So-
and he had some rehab to do. I think.
Those kilt legs are gonna look.
When we come back,
Six.
when we come back from break, but before break, also
Yes.
today is my wonderful partner with Divine Spirits, which we'll talk about after the break.
That's right.
Oh, she doesn't.
Abigail Felix.
She doesn't
today
watch
is,
the show.
Today is her birthday, so happy birthday, Abby.
Happy birthday, Abby, if you're watching.
From all of us.
From all of us.
Yeah, we love you, Abby. You'll never see this, but we love you.
We do have people that watch.
We do.
People watch
Some
the show.
people.
They're in the chat.
But-
They're in
but
the
Yeah,
today's-
but Abby is not one of
But
them.
Abby's
I'm
not.
not mad at her
She's
for
But
not.
it.
today's Abby's birthday, and she's out having dinner today.
Yeah, she
and
should
stuff,
be.
so-
She's allowed to have a
I
good
would
time.
like to mention that I'd have to go back and look, but somebody in the chat said hello from Peru.
Oh.
All right.
Oh, wow, I missed
Uh,
that.
I-
Good eye.
In
Yeah.
my best country
Let-
accent.
let me-
Hola.
Let me go back and look and see who that was. That
it?
was David Lopez.
I did
Hey.
not know.
Hola, David.
Your-
Peru in the house.
your
I
wife
don't know if you know this, but Victor's wife is from Peru.
She
so
is.
we talk about Peruvian things from time to time. And the food, top shelf.
I've got to say that I've never had Peruvian before. I was provided it by Victor's wife, Kathy, and her lovely family, and golly, that food is amazing.
God and baby Jesus.
You didn't even have the beef yet.
No.
You didn't
I
have
just
the
had,
steak
we just
yet.
had the
Oh,
chicken.
wow, yeah.
Just
I'll
had the
tell you
chicken.
this. So, those of you who know me know I am not a big fan, or at least certainly when I was younger, I was no fan of spice. Like, I didn't eat anything spicy ever. Forget it.
And then when the Spice Girls came along, how did you feel about them?
I was not into that sort of band, that sort of.
Not even posh?
Nah, I'm good.
Okay.
I like scary myself.
But until so,
Scary.
Victor Victor marries his wife, and their whole family shows up and makes some of the best food that anyone has ever tasted.
Yes.
And so here's the thing, and they are they're a festive people.
Yeah.
They enjoy the celebration.
They're cerveza.
At least the particular bit of Peruvians that Victor has married into.
Sure.
The
Others,
Peruvians you
your
hang
experience
out
may
with are
vary.
pretty groovy. They're
No,
groovy.
they're
groovy Peruvians.
They are
Peru-
a fine
No,
hang.
I will tell
enjoy
you on
hanging out
air,
with them a lot.
on air live. Those are my familia.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, I know.
So
Wonderful people. Like the one time I met him, like I had a blast.
So Victor gets married this 15 years ago almost now.
Correct. 16.
And
almost.
I actually performed. I'm his officiant because that's just my role.
Yeah, I was there.
And
You while we're getting into the personal history of Tiny Brian, you at one point were a preacher.
Yes. I
yes, I was. But so, and I still kind of do some of those roll among my circle of friends. So I perform the ceremony, and your T.O. Hector
Now, what does that mean?
Uncle.
Okay.
provided me with a thing in a small glass that was clear that I cannot name at this moment.
It's called Pisco.
Pisco.
Yeah, I was trying to recall the name. I
It's
couldn't think of it.
And but by the time and because I was the minister, like I was one of the first people to get a plate of food. But somehow between the moment that I came out of the ceremony and came to where the food was, I had several drinks. I cannot tell you how many, but it was a lot. So I was beyond mildly intoxicated by that point. So when they put this food in my mouth, this is also the hottest food I've ever allowed to be in my mouth. But I was just
And we're talking
intoxicated.
spicy, not
spicy.
temperature.
No, spicy.
Spicy. So I had that moment where I was just intoxicated enough that I went, you know what? I'm eating this. It is too delicious for me not to eat because it's spicy. And I just and did the sweating and I've been better about spice since that moment. But it was like I was inoculated by the sheer tastiness of the Peruvian food.
Trust me, whenever you get on the booze, your food, what you are willing to taste, you will expand your own limits.
Well, what's great about the Peruvian spices, though, is like it is hot, but it's not so hot that you're not going to sit there and sweat and eat it.
It's not overwhelming.
It gives that.
It's flavorfully hot.
Exactly, yeah.
Or hotly flavorful, depending on
however
whose
you want to
side
put
you're
it,
on,
but
yeah.
it's not miserable because, even my wife, I'll tell her, I ask her sometimes, I'm like, why do you put so much hot shit on there? I'm sorry. Why do you put so much hot?
PG-13.
Oh,
That's
PG.
the side we point to on
actually, you
this
know what?
show.
That word is into PG-13.
I know.
But I asked her, I'm like, so why do you eat stuff that's so hot you can't taste the actual food? But with the Peruvian cuisine, on the most part, you can taste the food and the spice at the same time, and it's
So you can taste the meat and the heat.
exactly.
Okay.
Well, guys, I think this is a wrestling show.
Yes,
Malachi,
a
are
wrestling
we
show.
ready to go to break? All right. This is the OVW Fan Zone Live, where fans talk back. We will be back right after this.
If Allison lives, I'll let old Reynolds' boys go free.
If you marry him, you're no longer a real McCoy.
See the authentic sights of the world's most famous feud. Plan your Hatfields and McCoy's historic driving tour with us today.
Visit tourpikecounty.com for details.
Soy Luis y estoy acá muy feliz en la zona de OVW. Thank you, Victor.
I want to take a moment to express my deepest gratitude. Without you, there is no OVW. Without your passion, your energy, your unwavering support, there is no us. There's no talent, no production. Without you, there's no OVW. Thank you for being the driving force behind everything we do. The unsung heroes of our saga. So from the bottom of our hearts, thank you, OVW fans. We can't do it without you.
I'm James and I'm in the OVW Fan Zone.
Welcome back to the OVW Fan Zone Live, where fans talk back.
They're literally in the chat talking back right now.
These mouthy fans. My name is Jackman Oaks.
I'm the Lizard King. I can do anything. I'm Brian Hines.
Oh, that's a throwback. We haven't done that in a long time.
I know.
That's a throwback. We are joined by our producers, really. Our producers, Tiny Brian, who you hear on this
I'm
show
embodied
regularly,
tonight, and it's weird.
And
I'm
Victor
John Popper, Tiny Brian.
Oh, come on. You can't. Well, maybe you could play a harmonica.
Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah, if I sat down to it, I could work that out. That's a good joke.
Is that
I wondered when you were going to pick up on that.
And for anybody that's, and correct me if I'm wrong, that is, of course, Blues Traveler, the lead singer of Blues Traveler?
That is, in fact, the
Correct.
lead singer of Blues Traveler, who is
there you go.
gravitationally enhanced.
Yeah, Blues Traveler, that great band. All right, so we do have a little bit of business before we get into the predictions and the recaps and all of that stuff. It is one of my favorite times of the year when the PWI comes out. The men's PWI list went out a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, we talked about it last month.
The women's PWI list is just dropped, and there are some familiar names in it this year. Tiny Brian, you want to take us away here?
Well, let's start at the bottom.
No, I meant Brian Hines. Sorry.
I'm sitting here.
Yep.
Yes.
That's
because you're looking at it.
You stay over there.
I'm like 90% of your field of vision.
This has actually been something that I've struggled with a lot, having the Bryans, is because I tried in my mind to always call them Tiny Brian or Brian Hines when I address them, and I crisscross across the streams.
Crisscross applesauce.
I cross the streams to make a timely joke, a seasonal appropriate joke.
Crossing the streams is bad, Ray.
But who do we have in the PWI 250 for the women?
PWI Women's 250 is loaded with OVW talent, and I am not surprised because
wonderful to see.
It's been my opinion since we started this podcast that the OVW Women's Locker Room is, the best in professional wrestling right now, and this. This list is a who's who of OVW from the women's locker room. We've got Hollywood Haley J.
At 201.
At 201. Angelica Risk, 196. J-Rod, 182. Freya the Slayer, 163. Layla Gray, 148. Tiffany Nieves, right there with her at 146. And Dream Girl Ellie at 127.
Congratulations, ladies. The PWI, for people that maybe don't know, and I'm sure most people here do on the chat or people
That's
that are
Pro
watching
Wrestling
this show.
Illustrated, right?
Pro Wrestling Illustrated, right? And it's an interesting list because it is manufactured out of kayfabe. So you're always, the way that you get on the list is judged by who you beat and the performances that you put in, or I guess the match that you put in, because it is a kayfabe publication. How you lose. right? That's how you get on the PWI list. So it is an incredible thing not only to have OVW have the platform, have all of these ladies on it, but that's just a little, I guess, explanation of how you get ranked on the PWI. So I think I've always found that interesting. It's a huge deal to get on it, but it is also just kayfabe.
But if none of this stuff matters, and what are we doing here? So
exactly,
it definitely matters.
It matters.
It all matters.
If it didn't matter, why does anybody care?
I've spent more time with tears in my eyes in wrestling matches than I have serious movies. I don't cry to Schindler's List. I cry when Luke Curtis wins the championship. So
he really did.
That was a really emotional night, though.
Yeah. And, PWI's #1 male wrestler, I've probably cried to more than is socially acceptable to say out loud. So, Cody Rhodes, of course.
Well, yeah.
All right. So Tiny Brian. Go ahead.
So do we have any thoughts on these performers? I know J-Rod is still relatively new with us, but has certainly proved herself at every opportunity she's been given.
She is impressive. Like, that is an impressive woman. Like, every time I see her, I'm like, damn.
The ultimate athlete is
she lives up to that moniker.
Yeah, absolutely. Just by the way she looks. I mean, you couldn't.
And like, even in the short time she's been there, like, I think each match she has improved. Mm-hmm. Like, when I saw her in Pikeville with Dream Girl early, which she's 127, which is well deserved, because Dream Girl at this point is a professional.
Yeah,
and they put on a great no holds barred match. I don't remember what it's called, but I remember they
Street Fight.
Street Fight. There you go. Whatever. But it was impressive, and I'm like, that girl is going somewhere, and she's got a look that's there.
Absolutely.
Like, if she can live up to, like J-Rod has got such a great look, she has to live up to that.
Right.
She really does.
Yeah, no, it's she has everything that's intangible. And on her time in OVW so far, they've really tried to, I think, make her game a lot more rounded out, a lot more 360 degrees. They have her on commentary.
Putting her on commentary really helps. It makes her
so
talk.
Too.
Yeah.
I think so too. Tiny Brian?
So
Matthew's in the chat. Hey, Matthew.
Just saying hi to Matthew.
And Ken, yes, Layla Gray is number 148.
Mm-hmm.
148.
So who do we think is left off this list in the OVW locker room?
I mean,
Shalance
Royale, Sophia Rose, Ari Alexander.
Jason agrees with you on both those, Brian.
Yeah. I think for me, we don't see Ari as much anymore. I don't know really what her status is with the company anymore.
Doesn't feel like we're seeing her or Shane.
But Shalance is, and I mean this, like the most fully formed women's wrestler probably on the entire roster, maybe short of Layla Gray. And I don't know. But again, this is a kayfabe list. Like, we know Shalance has a lot of different interests, a lot of ways that she spends her time. Maybe she's just not wrestling the way that you get on a list like this.
So you asked a question, who you think's missing?
Oh.
There's somebody you had in mind.
What about, I asked it because I want, I'm here to drive conversation. I think I maybe agree with DJ Eric. What about the amazing Maria?
Oh, gosh.
Well, yeah, sure.
But again, it's all kayfabe. We've not seen her on OVW television.
Well, but she has been in WoW.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Which I haven't been able to catch up with.
For an overall career, she definitely deserves to be
Haley's
top.
blurb doesn't mention WoW at all.
I don't want to be mean. We should go back through this list for sake of conversation, maybe on our Sunday night show or Monday night show whenever it drops, the OVW podcast, the unofficial podcast of Ohio Valley Wrestling. I'd be hard-pressed to find a WoW girl on there. I guarantee it.
Now, I will say...
because the only people they wrestle is each other.
If she would come back on a more regular basis, just based on her athletic ability, Lady Bird.
Oh, my
Could
goodness.
be on the top 200 for sure.
That
lady is impressive.
And it's been so fun to watch Sophia grow as a singles performer. Mm-hmm. But Lady Bird is the bee's knees. Like, I love Lady Bird. Lady Bird's a good call. Behind Shalance, Lady Bird is the best call.
And definitely Sophia. Don't get us wrong. Like, Sophia, I was just telling, it's funny, we were talking. I was just telling Brian the other day, it's like, every time I see Sophia, she's getting more tone.
She's made a lot of growth.
And it's not even to her body. Like, her body's getting more tone, but her performance in the matches are getting more defined, and she's killing it out there, and she's looking great doing it.
And on a kayfabe list, though, Sophia's so good at losing right now. Like, she's such a believable loser, and like that is
such a valuable skill.
This
which
is
sounds
the
mean.
only place. Professional wrestling is the only place where that's a compliment. But whenever her time is due in OVW, there's no doubt in my mind. Probably I could speak for everyone here. They've got a star in the wings.
Keep going, Sophia. Yeah. You're a real star girl.
Yeah. You've got a star in the wings with her.
I don't want to fully tell her business, but I can say that I am comfortably sure that we're going to be seeing a lot of Sophia. Mm-hmm. She is her situation has changed to to the point that I know that she's going to be available for OVW a whole lot more.
I can also speak to that based off of, I think everyone here can speak to that. We've all seen the same information.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear it because she's killing it and she's right there.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I mean, as a booker or as a wrestling promotion, what more could you ask for than a ready-made star like Sophia
No
Rose?
kidding.
Seriously, just teach her how to wrestle. Not that she can't, but like all you have to do is give her the skills to succeed because she's gonna be there. Yeah.
So Brian, you got some sad predictions from last week from these guys.
Yeah. So here's the thing with predictions, Malachi. Let's go ahead and have the predictions bumper.
Oh, great.
Oh, there's a bumper.
Oh, predictions. It's fiery. Ooh. We can certainly talk about what went on last week, and we can talk about the points total. But OVW has released exactly 2 posters for this week. One with the OVW locker room on it, one with the Revolution locker on it.
Interesting.
And it just says, what matches will be on Thursday? You have to wait and see.
Interesting.
Okay.
And
all right.
Unfortunately, once upon a time, I might have been able to contact Al Snow and get him to wink and nod my direction about what we might expect, but
He's
Al
in the
is
hospital, man.
Al is no longer available
Make
for
sure
me,
you
unfortunately.
provide Jello next time.
Yeah, maybe I need to go to the hospital and try to see him, but he's not writing the show,
Wrestle him
so
up.
Well, we've already
he's
seen
not
him.
setting up the matches. We know
Nobody writes the show.
Well,
Remember,
he's
it's
not
Wednesday.
setting the
This
matches.
is all kayfabe.
He's setting the matches.
We've already
No,
seen
but
him.
he's not doing that.
We've
And
already
Doug
seen him
isn't
flowers.
telling me.
I don't know that he liked that though.
No, Doug is not. Doug is not telling me much about what's going on. So
No.
Not
And he's
usually
not
very
releasing
forthcoming
anything
with
public.
information.
no, not with us especially. But that's
So
a
we
story
should talk
for
about
another
last
time.
week then.
Yeah, so we can go through the stuff for last week.
I would
but,
like to make a prediction about next week. Star Rider, Maximo Suave, Orion. It's the same 6-man rumble I always.
Orion's in Japan.
Oh, really? Congratulations.
Orion.
Yeah, that's why we've not seen him
Good
recently,
for you.
right?
That's right.
I'm not on the social media.
That is. All right, so yes, let's go through last week. As it started at the beginning of last week, Behinds had 9 yay points and 6 boo points. Jackman also had 9 green points but 5 of the boo points.
We might have to workshop that. I don't know.
I don't
Yeah,
look. The Finnish are complicated people.
Who's the
Hey,
finisher?
hey.
Yes.
I've been in contact with my Finnish connections this week, and they're going to straighten your ass out.
And to be honest,
Well, they need to straighten the Finnish guys that are.
No.
These are the guys. Or ladies.
I'm going over your head on this one.
Yeah, and honestly,
More to come.
I advocated openly for this because win, lose, or draw, I think we need some answers.
Yeah.
Over your
We need to finish, is what we're saying.
Yeah.
with the
And
Finnish.
your idea of finish is not my idea of finish.
Wow, I didn't realize this was going to be a game rules.
Just know it's taken care
Intervention.
of. Just know it's taken care of.
We're just trying to make sense out of it.
Just know it's taken care of.
So
All right.
tell us who won.
He doesn't
So-
know.
I know. That's why I asked him.
That's why we had to go to the Finns.
We had to spin the choice.
So Hollywood Haley J versus J Rod. Both of you said Hollywood Haley J would win.
Yeah, both of me. Behinds right there.
Look at that. Yes, it's.
Was
look,
that ever an issue for you growing up?
What's that?
Like, did you ever get bullied for your name?
Nobody came up with Behinds until college. And somebody just hit me with it one day, and I was like, yeah, that's it. Growing up, it was always Heinz ketchup, her.
Heinz 57.
Yeah.
My name is Jackman, of course, and no one ever bullied me at all for that name. So
Well, good.
yeah,
I don't believe that.
yeah. No, middle school was a great time.
I bet it was, Jack man.
Sorry about that, Jack.
So,
sorry.
Neither one of you managed to win because that was a no decision.
So I got to say, I'm not on the show ever, but seriously, guys, really, Haley J over A-Rod? I mean, J-Rod, did anybody really seriously
I
believe
was
that?
feeling frisky last week.
I mean, you were feeling
Hey,
delusional.
don't you judge me.
You're delusional, both of you. J-Rod is the ultimate
That's
athlete.
the
And
opinions
also,
expressed by Brian M. Hines Esquire reflect his own opinions.
not only is J-Rod the ultimate athlete, she is also the woman, the main B from the Revolution.
It was an
She's
A
gonna
and B
win.
conversation.
Okay.
Next,
Brian.
I sat down with Chad last weekend before the show, so I was feeling.
Okay,
all
next,
over the place.
Brian.
All right. I'm also looking at the chat.
For those of you that don't know, Chad is our Bourbon Connect.
He's our steward.
He's
Well,
our
he doesn't
bourbon
like-
ambassador.
He hates being called
like
a
that
steward, though. So,
And you can check him out on mydailybourbon.com.
OVW TV. Allow me to introduce Tiny Brian Woodard
Tiny Brian.
and senior producer Victor Anderson.
That'd be me.
OVW TV wonders
Who
else
are the
on
new
screen.
guys?
These are our scab replacements, Flip and Jeff.
Usually you just hear me, but I'm actually on camera tonight. Hello.
Hello, OVW TV.
Hello,
Tiny
OVW
Brian.
TV.
So neither one of you get any points, lose any points. That
Nobody
match
spins the choice on that
ended
one.
in that match ended in Freya the Slayer.
Of course.
That was the
Laying
the
waste
finish.
to everybody.
Famously.
Laying waste to absolute. Can anyone in this in this space-time continuum stop Freya the Slayer?
No.
No.
I don't want to try.
Nope.
Then we have Crystal White versus Angelica Risk, and the two of you correctly predicted Angelica Risk as the victor there.
I mean, that's
Not a
obvious.
super hard pick
Crystal.
there.
I believe that Jackman put it as Crystal White. Thanks for coming.
That yes.
She is there for
Moral support.
eye candy,
Well,
just to put it bluntly.
we know this actually very famously to
She's
be
the
true.
original diva.
We not trying to flex our
Let's
connects
be
backstage.
careful what we were told off the record.
But we did hear a story something like that. But actually, no. Here's the thing: is like
I
Crystal,
digress.
Crystal has put in a ton of work in the professional wrestling industry, and Crystal is kind of the same thing that we said with Sophia White. There is no shame in being great at losing.
She's awesome, man.
Or Sophia Rose, sorry.
Right.
But-
Sophia Rose.
Sophia White. That could also be a wrestler's name. I
It
feel
could
like.
be, but Crystal's she is good at what she does. Don't take no offense to my thing. We appreciate the eye
She's-
candy, and she looks great doing it.
She is great as a wrestler. She is great as a valet. She's
she is.
she's done tag team work in her time at OVW. Crystal is a utility player.
Yes, she
and
is.
Anybody would be lucky to have her around.
I seem to remember a time last year when her and Katie had a tag team match with some iteration of the Bad Girls Club.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, she looks better in the ring now than she did then.
She does.
Yeah.
It feels like she's been putting in some effort.
I think she's been in training.
And right about this time of year, I'm a little disappointed that her and Katie aren't with Ryan Von Rocket because I got a kick out of the Thanksgiving outfits last year
Oh yeah.
during the
I
pay per
assume
view.
we'll get some cool at Hell Night. I assume we will see her and she will be in costume.
So
Well,
maybe that
and
could be the
here's
prediction.
the thing.
What's the costume going to be?
Here's the thing now is that she's with Beaches and Cream. That presentation on Hell Night is going to be
Yeah, that opens up.
Oh,
That opens up any and all doors.
yeah.
Yeah, let's see. Is it going to be
Something to do with whipped cream.
Nurse or?
she's already done Nurse. With
I think
him.
we're gonna
Was
see
it-
a new. I think we're gonna see something new for the night because I think we're gonna get a congruent.
It's going to
costume.
be extra beaches, extra creamy.
That's certainly one way to put it, friend.
Okay,
I'll
leave it at that.
I'm excited for it, whatever it is.
So how these losers do on Cal Hero and Cash Flow?
Oh,
Yikes.
they both bet that that Cash and Cow would get the win.
Oh, okay. So they're 2 out of 3.
There's no way I said that.
I believe. Oh no, you're right. You did in fact bet on the.
There you go. He's a
Revolution.
winner.
I was gonna
You
say.
you predicted specifically there would be a third
I
person
did.
to join them during the event, which was wrong.
Mhm.
But yeah, Brian went with his heart, and which I have to respect. Actually, that was a heartbreaking main event last week.
Yeah.
That 2-on-3 match.
Would have been a hell of a coup for the boys if they had pulled it off.
Yeah, you got, and I love. Can we talk again about that stipulation? whichever one of them, it's 3 champions, and if you pin one of them, you're the number 1 contender to their belt. Thought that was a great stipulation.
That was a good stipulation
for a combination match.
Yeah. Hats off to Labor Daddy there on that one.
Risks, baby. That's what it's all about.
Right.
Tiny Brian.
And there it was. Let's move on to Donovan Cecil versus the Indian Lion Mahabali Shera.
Hoss fight.
This was a divided house with B. Hines continuing the Year of the Mammoth. I think we Year of the Mammothing on the shirt tonight?
Nope. We are not Year of the Mammothing on the shirt tonight.
We are, we're creaming tonight.
That's right.
Creamy, baby.
Creamy Mommy.
Yeah.
Go watch it. Free on Tubi. Right, Malachi?
Hey, this is a PG-13 show, guys.
No,
Creamy
we watched
Mommy is actually an ice cream store.
No,
See?
it's she sells crepes.
Well,
they sell crepes at the store, and whenever she turned into a pop star overnight, she asked her name and panicked, and then said that her name was Creamy. So that's how. Come on, watch an anime, Tiny Brian.
Right.
Okay.
Watch an anime, Tiny Brian.
We're all old here, so
yeah. Donovan takes the win in an incredible fight.
that was an awesome.
That was probably the crown jewel in Donovan Cecil's career.
It was the match of the night
So far.
Yeah, so far. And that's saying something because that match with Cash the week before was very impressive.
I'll echo a sentiment that I had on, I think, our regular show. I never had any doubts about Donovan Cecil, the single star. But if you had one, past 2 weeks should shut your mouth firmly. Yep. Donovan Cecil is a single star. And if we ever see his former partner, TW3, back again, a ready-made happy moment, right? It's the sky is the limit, as Donovan has proven throughout basically every challenge he's ever been given in his life.
Yep.
The sky is the limit for him.
He's the legitimate Kentucky's strongest man. Don't ever forget that. That's what made Mark Henry so great. He was legitimate. Donovan Cecil is a legitimate Kentucky's strongest man, and he's going to win.
Legitimate Kentucky's strongest man, highest grade in his class in college.
Yeah.
Former pro football player.
Yeah.
Everything this man does turns to gold, and I am so glad. Honestly, and we've said this before, that little bit of TW3 dust that he sprinkled on him turned that man into a completely different performer.
Yeah. So, with that being said, how long do you think it'll be before Donovan Cecil wins gold, and what title do you think that he would win first?
If Donovan Cecil is, by the time that he gets singles gold, is not in anything other than the heavyweight championship conversation, it is a supreme misuse of him.
By when? When is he going to win the OVW heavyweight championship?
Okay, so I think, in all honesty, Cal Hero is first in line right now. I really think that Cal deserves an OVW heavyweight champ.
I agree.
But
just to throw in a swerve here, it's about past time, I think everybody will agree here, to get that daggone national championship off EC3.
Right.
Yep.
And we were supposed to see EC3 last week, and he did not.
Yeah, that was another thing I wanted to mention. He was on the card. He was supposed to be there.
Yeah, EC3 was MIA. No mention of him or nothing.
So the national championship debate continues to kind of be up in a state of flux because we never see the belt. There's no obvious, in my mind right now, no obvious challengers for it. I've always said that belt should be probably occupied by a part-timer with some sort of previous national acclaim. EC3 fits that, but I think that the fan base is ready to see somebody else with it. The question is, who?
Cashflow.
Cashflow, if you're going in-house, Cashflow is probably the only legitimate guy that you could put it on.
Maybe to at least get the belt off of EC3, get it back in-house, and then somebody else can beat
Find
Cashflow.
Another.
Yeah.
If you're going in-house.
Such as Donovan.
Right. If you're going in-house, Cashflow is the only guy that I could see beating EC3.
Let's get to the last prediction you guys made.
Sure.
Which involves Dustin Jackman. Dustin Jackson versus Ryan Von Rocket.
He's much better looking than I am.
In a match we waited like 4 weeks to see. It kept being advertised and then not happening. Jackman, you made the right call on this one with Dustin Jackson. And Brian, I think you once again went with your heart in this time, and unfortunately it betrayed you because you really wanted Ryan to win.
The Rock got stopped.
The
Rock I went with The Rock.
Ah, well, okay.
So
I did it for The Rock.
Unfortunately, you got the Ryan Vaughn and It too, and that combination made it not quite as good.
I've been so proud of Dustin since he's come back, and Dustin should be extremely proud of himself as well. Dustin is on screen and off screen a ready-made babyface.
He is, and I'll say it here: if you guys want to get to know Dustin Jackman or Jackson,
that's me.
Go listen to the OVW podcast by these two gentlemen. With his interview with Dustin Jackson,
so
that is one of the best ones out there.
It is in the feed now. Go find it.
You and I have a conversation. We always talk before we sit down to an interview.
Well, yeah.
And I don't know what it was that day, but I did have a strange energy or confidence, or I hesitate to use confidence because that would imply that it was my decision. But there was a strange thing in the air with Dustin that I knew that we were going to sit down and do a really, really good podcast with him.
Yeah,
it's great,
and we did.
That was one of the better ones you guys have done.
Absolutely. So should we take a break?
Malachi, are we ready for a break, baby?
We set up PS?
We have some questions, and we'll get to those right after this break, I guess.
All right.
This is the OVW Fan Zone Live, where fans talk back. We'll be back right after this.
Hey, Brian.
Hey.
Have you seen how cool this shirt is?
I see that.
You know, we have a whole TeePublic shop that sells these.
I did not know that, no.
We do, yes, and we have links in all of our social media about it. You can get this, or you can get the unofficial.
You can get this, or you can get that.
That is absolutely true.
I'm Sarah, and I'm with the OVW Fan Zone.
I'm Christian, and I'm with the OVW Fan Zone.
Dream a reality and attend the world-famous Harvard of Pro Wrestling. The OVW Academy with Al Snow, the birthplace of legends including Batista, John Cena, Randy Orton, The Miz, and many more. Will you be the next name added to that impressive list? Visit OVWacademy.com and apply now.
I'm Keith, and I'm in the OVW Fan Zone.
I want to take a moment to express my deepest gratitude. Without you, there is no OVW. Without your passion, your energy, your unwavering support, there is no us. There's no talent, no production. Without you, there's no OVW. Thank you for being the driving force behind everything we do. The unsung heroes of our saga. So from the bottom of our hearts, thank you, OVW fans. We can't do it without you.
Hey, it's Boise Valley, Eric Cornish, and I'm in the OVW Fan Zone.
Welcome back. Final segment here on the OVW Fan Zone Live, where, of course, I almost did it again.
Jeez.
Brian Hines.
Yeah.
What do fans do here?
This is where the fans talk back.
My name is Jack Minox. This is Brian Hines. We're joined by our producers today, Tiny Brian, Victor Anderson. Victor, really quick.
Yes, sir.
November 9th.
Yes.
The 11th month, the 9th day.
Uh-huh.
What's going on that day?
It is the Bourbon Brawl.
And where is that?
The Bourbon County High School in Paris, Kentucky.
In beautiful, luxurious downtown Paris, Kentucky. Because everything in Paris is kind of downtown.
It's Parisian.
Starts at 7 p.m., and it will be sponsored by Divine Spirits, which is
where we are actually sitting.
That's
our company.
And this will be reference to Day Job.
And this will be in support and sponsoring the Bourbon County High School Marching Band.
And what makes them so special, really quick?
They are the the fighting, contending #1 band in America.
Defending champions.
They are defending champions. They're defending national champions at the Bands of America. That happens every year in Indianapolis, Indiana. They're the defending champions, and they're going to go back this year and defend that title.
And this when they do that, this happens on a NFL field.
It does.
Which is absolutely insane to think about.
It is.
NFL field filled with marching band contestants and their family and observers.
And you'll
but
like
this is
part.
what happens.
You'll like this part. So our kids, when they go up to Indianapolis, I don't know exactly where because I'm not with the kids.
Sure.
But they stay in the Army barracks.
Right on.
Wow.
So they all sleep in cots and stay in the Army barracks. Because, it's a little better than going to the hotel. It gets a little pricey.
Yeah.
So,
and also, the team building that.
Yeah, it gives a good team building, and all the kids get to know each other a little better. So.
And that's really what this is all about. Bourbon Brawl is giving the Bourbon County High School band it's a fundraiser for them and giving them the opportunity to do what they love and what they're obviously great at.
That's right.
And OVW is partnering with us, partnering with Divine Spirits, partnering with the Bourbon County Band to raise a little bit of money, and that'll be, again, Bourbon Brawl, November 9th, downtown Paris, Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
We'd love
to see Bourbon County High School.
We'd love to see everybody there.
We want to get as many people there as possible that night.
And, again, it bears repeating. We'll be running around there all night. We'll be very easy to find. Brian Hines will probably be dressed exactly like this.
There's a very good chance I'll be wearing.
I have a feeling that we'll all be there.
This.
We'll all be there, and we'll be very busy.
Yeah,
so
we will.
Be a fun night.
But find us because we come when you're in our backyard. We know where to find things. So come find us. We'll take care of you.
Yep. I'm actually, I'm as we talked about. Let's go ahead and talk about HawkCon.
Yes,
as Brian,
that was why we had the commercials earlier for Pikeville come back, if you were wondering.
So Brian has mentioned very, very many times. Brian is from Pike County. As am I.
Wait. Really?
Yes.
Because this is news to me.
But I'm never on this show.
This?
So we'll lift up the curtain here a little bit. I'm also from Pike County, and Brian and I are lifelong friends since we were both about 12, 13 years old.
What?
Which happened in Pike County. And what's cool about HawkCon, even though neither one of us went to Pike Central, being from Pike County, I can literally throw a pebble and hit like 10 of my cousins. A lot of them went to Pike Central High School, and that is where this event is happening. So please go see HawkCon as well, because Pike Central High School is a great place in Pike County.
Now, are they having wrestling there, or is it just an appearance of OVW?
No, it's wrestling.
No, it's wrestling.
Okay, well, there you go.
It's a whole
HawkCon.
It's a whole fall festival kind of deal.
Yes.
There's
right.
And
face painting and trunk or treat.
Right, and we talked about all that, but
we
didn't say whether or not there was actual wrestling.
Yes.
Do you know what they're raising money for?
No, I don't know.
I don't know right off either,
it's
but
something related to Pike.
It doesn't matter. It's Pike County Central High School, and they're great, and they call it HawkCon because it is the Pike County Central Hawks.
Right.
So
and I do want to, speaking to your guys' lifelong friendship, very famously, this is how you got the name Tiny Brian, is from Victor's dad.
My dad, yes.
Yes.
So that's no BS. Like these
guys. Now
that
you guys are seeing me on camera, you can get how exact. As I will tell you, if you meet me in person, I will say, "Hi, my name's Brian. My friends call me Tiny.
The Tiny
it's
is ironic.
Yes.
So I am ironically tiny, as you can all see, and some of you have even been commenting, nice enough to comment on. So that we have been getting some comments this evening.
I can speak to that. When I met you, those were the exact words you said to me.
Yes. Let's get into the comments because this is where fans talk back.
Okay.
So I've got some questions and comments from the chat that we want to talk about.
Let's do this.
First, OVW Fan Zone member Jason, that we all know, tells me that he got his OVW T-shirt today.
The
one with the logo on it,
from the OVW, from the Blacklight Moon Productions
OVW
store.
Podcast
T-Public store.
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
so he got his,
thank
Jason.
you.
We hope you enjoy that.
Thank you, Jason.
Yes, thank you.
And thanks to everybody who's been buying those. We have had a few sell, so we thank you for that.
I asked my mommy for one for Christmas.
Oh wow!
There you are.
Yeah.
Oh well, and you've been a pretty good boy, so I think that'll happen.
I hope the Great Pumpkin brings me one. If not, Santa.
Then JW asks, is there a chance we could see OVW anywhere near the Gulf Coast? I know a lot of people would love it down here.
Now, can we define what the Gulf Coast is?
Gulf Coast is any bit of land that is adjacent to the Gulf of Mexico.
I know. Are we talking Biloxi, Mississippi, or Sarasota, Florida? There's a big difference.
I have what I read you.
Okay, I was just
so
asking.
let's talk about more generally the how we think OVW did on this national tour this year, and whether or not we think it's likely to continue into 2025. Maybe that's a better use of this.
So, I was lucky enough to go to one out of town, Nashville. So I did kind of get to see both sides of the OVW national tour, both the ones that were more centralized to OVW's primary base of operations, and then of course one that is in a different state where OVW maybe doesn't have as much of a built-in audience, right?
Right.
I can say this for the OVW national tour date that I saw in Nashville. The venue was great. It was a really, really nice venue in a great part of town. They sold a decent amount of tickets. I was actually very, very impressed because you never know what you're going to walk into in that situation. And then also, Greyhound sucks. Those are my 3 takeaways from that weekend. But I getting to see one out of town. I think that I think it could be said. I think it's fair to argue. I don't know how they feel, but based on what I saw, it looks like they got good attendance.
And we know they did in Pikeville. We were all there for that.
Yeah.
So if you get a sponsor that's ready for it, and maybe they continue the relationship with Dano's. I don't know that either. But Dano's is a strangely national brand, so you would need someone. Even though we all know it is like Kentucky guys just being like a Kentucky thing, they're massive on TikTok. They're massive nationally. They are a strangely national brand.
That dude makes me hungry on social media 4 times a week.
Exactly.
Cooking something.
4 times a day.
So if they have another sponsor or the same sponsor that's ready to put their name on it, I don't see why not.
That said, I have lived on the Gulf Coast, and I happen to know they like them some wrestling all along the Gulf Coast.
Yeah, these are some of the most infamous wrestling cities and states of all time.
Then there's wrestling people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. In Florida, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Then we get, I missed who actually did this one, but they asked, could we see Cash Flow turn on Team OVW and join the revolution? Chris Runyon fears whipped cream.
I think that would be
I think Chris Runyon loves whipped cream.
Yeah, I wouldn't say fears is the right word for that.
I think he relishes in whipped cream. I think he dreams about it at night.
Which is weird because you don't like pickles.
So,
as my grandmother would say,
what's that got to do with whipped cream?
Pickles are made out of relish.
That's a
knee slapper.
Yeah.
See, I couldn't do that if I wasn't.
Well, that was your elbow.
I'm aware.
Okay.
David Lopez says, and he is the gentleman from Peru.
He is the Peruvian.
Buenas tardes, Senor Lopez. Peru is eagerly awaiting for you to enjoy some of its events. It would be great if at some point there could be a match against the Peruvian wrestling company.
Gladiadores.
Very good, Brian.
Good catch.
He did also say he'd love to see OVW in Peru. So, OVW, let's talk about the potential for international connections. Do we think OVW is ready to... I know that Al has some relationships in Eastern Europe and such.
Japan. Al Snow Wrestling Academies all over. I think there is one in South America for what it's worth. Obviously, the goal of the experiment of OVW in this current stage is to try to get it as large as humanly possible. Right? We've heard that from people. We've heard that from very high up people in Ohio Valley Wrestling. We want this on as many TVs across the globe as humanly possible.
Yeah.
Now, is there a call for it beyond our friend Mr. Lopez here? That's the question.
Right.
Right now, is there a call for it? That's the question. I don't know because I don't live anywhere else other than Lexington, Kentucky on a couch. So,
although it occurs to me, if they made more of a push in this direction, OVW could get the greatest thing in all of professional wrestling.
A gig
a finished governing board?
A gig at Paris at Bourbon County High School?
a Spanish announce table.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
See, look, y'all mocked me, but I really want OVW to have a Spanish announce table.
I wasn't trying to mock you. I did just want to get in one last time here on our way out as we're looking toward the end of the hour.
DJ Eric did finally ask right here at the
Bourbon
end.
Brawl 11th.
Is Leather Daddy Doug going to be a part of our show? Leather Daddy Doug is the director of operations.
I mean, he's the head of Revolution, so I would say yes.
I mean, Revolution. I assume that we've seen the Revolution. We've seen Tony Gunn. We've seen Crixus here.
Right here on this couch.
Right here on this very couch and this very spot where I am taking up 1.5 spots. I think none of that happens if Doug doesn't want to see the brand grow in this part of the world, whether or not he will deign to come and see us personally.
We don't wear enough leather.
I feel like maybe he
we don't have enough lava lamps.
Is on his level.
I'll put it to you this way to kind of circumvent all of the stammering, getting to the point that we were getting to there. Open invitation, Doug.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. All that said, I don't think he will, but if he ever wanted to, he is perfectly welcome to come he is the director of operations. There's no way we don't want to talk to him.
Right.
We want to hear from him. The OVW Nation wants to hear from him. Canadian Spaceman thinks Doug Basham is awesome in all capital letters. Let's get to the calendar, shall we?
He is
absolutely. You doing it this week?
Huh?
Since you're doing it still?
I usually do the count. Yeah, I'll do the count.
Go for it.
I was going to see if I could talk Malachi into it back there.
He doesn't have my mic.
He's only going to do it with interpretive dance or shadow puppets.
I'll go for it.
So tomorrow, 6:15 p.m., that's when the dark matches start at Hot Point Davis Arena for OVW Rise. 7 o'clock bell time for Rise. 6:30 bell time for Overdrive. The matches are awesome. Brian is mocking me. Don't miss it.
Buy a ticket early and often.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like voting.
Yeah.
Monday morning.
But much more important. Go ahead.
Yeah.
In our podcast feed, you can hear what we thought of that episode of Rise tomorrow in the OVW Podcast, the unofficial podcast of Ohio Valley Wrestling.
That's unofficial.
Right. Yes, that's out Monday.
This is the only hour
that we are official all week.
It's about to end.
Week.
The rest of the time, unofficial is no.
Yeah, I can't speak for OVW in about 90 seconds.
That's
so
where we let our hair down.
Yes. Tuesday, 7 p.m., OVW YouTube channel, right where you're watching if you're watching on YouTube. Mm-hmm. OVW Overdrive, the show that always taps out at 2.
Overdrive.
Brian Kennison, Steven Johnson, watch them. They get up to some nonsense.
That makes him sound like a football player. Dancing Stevie J, please.
Dancing Stevie J.
He hasn't really been calling himself that.
No, they do show Steven Johnson.
Yeah, they don't really call him that on Overdrive.
Maybe he's kind of turning a leaf. Maybe he got a new girlfriend.
Maybe not.
Maybe he's finally
OVW
TV.
TV, hello. We didn't really acknowledge you this week, but you're in the chat. He reminds us to visit OVWTix.com.
TIX.
Next Wednesday, we are right back here for OVW Fan Zone Live. I'm probably on the other side of this camera.
And I will not be here.
And he will not be here.
He will be doing
different.
family things.
And I think we'll probably have this place decorated for Halloween by next Wednesday.
I am going back to Ohio.
Things are starting to feel spooky around here.
That's where all of my Halloween supplies
We'll tell you
are.
guys more about Divine Spirits next week, maybe.
Yes, and we'll continue to talk about the Bourbon Brawl. But for now, Jackman, that's the calendar. Take us out.
Oh, gosh, that means I should get my notes. Oh my
no.
goodness. Oh, goodness.
Oh, good. I was just going to say goodnight. I don't know if you can read all of this.
Oh, gosh.
OVW.
Wait, so I don't have to read all this?
He's Jackman Oaks.
My name's Jackman Oaks. This is Brian Hines, Victor Anderson, Tiny Brian.